What's up guys, it's Danta. So last week patch 11.1.5 dropped, and with it came a new leveling event which will last until May 20th. During this event we get a 20% XP bonus, and if you level up in either the dragonflight or the war within zones, you will also have a chance to get a leveling satchel. These can contain gear, buffs, and most importantly, a potion that gives you an extra 10% XP buff for 2 hours. And yes, it stacks with the 20% XP buff that we already get. Now, as some of you might know, I like leveling up a lot. I only need to get 36 of my level 70s up to 80 and I will have 100 level 80s. Don't ask me why. So I wanted to see how fast you can go from level 1 to level 80 during this event. And well, like I said in my last video, it sure as hell ain't leveling in dragonflight zones. That's why I decided to make a new leveling guide for you guys. If you are fast, you can hit level 80 in around 4 hours, or 6 if you take it easy. Now, before some of you are going to say it took you 10,000 years to reach level 80, just keep in mind that it all depends on your buffs. So for example, your warband bonuses, your potions, etc. But don't worry, I will go over all of that right now. So let's start with the stuff that will help you speed up your leveling. First off, during the 11.1.5 event, we get a 20% XP bonus. Like I mentioned earlier, you can get a 10% XP potion from satchels while leveling in the dragonflight zones or the war within zones. Now, this is one of the things that I hate and literally don't get about the so-called leveling event. These satchels that contain the XP potions, gear, and buffs currently only drop in dragonflight and the war within zones, which means that if you want to get those satchels and a chance on getting an XP potion, you basically are getting forced to level up in dragonflight whenever you are going from level 1 to 70. And honestly, it sucks. Leveling in the Dragon Isles is just way slower, unless you are getting boosted by a level 70. I just don't understand how Blizzard can call this a leveling event whenever you are only going to get those event satchels if you are going to quest in the Dragon Isles. I feel like these satchels should just drop from content across all zones and not just the Dragonflight areas, because there are people that want to quest in the classic zones or the Pandaria zones, or even the Outland zones. Yeah, there are people that enjoy that. It's just kind of sad when you think about it. Like, for example, back during the Legion pre-patch, we had an awesome event that let you level up super fast. They could have just copied that format and tweaked it a bit, instead of giving us this boring-ass event. Now, hopefully, they still push out a hotfix that allows these satchels to drop everywhere, but to be honest, I don't think they will. Anyway, a couple of days ago, I made a video showing you how to farm a bunch of these XP potions quickly and with barely any effort. If you are interested, I'll have a link in the description. Next up we have heirlooms. They no longer grant you any XP boost. However, if you've upgraded them to scale up to level 70, they do make it so that you don't have to deal with swapping gear all the time, which saves time. This might actually be the only reason why you would want to get heirlooms. Now, there are a lot of vendors across Azeroth that sell heirlooms and upgrades, so I will include a link in the description with the exact locations of those vendors. Now, there is also another potion that gives a 10% XP boost, but it's only usable until level 49. That being said, it still works after level 49 if you use it just before hitting that level. You can buy it in Borealis if you are Alliance, or Dazar Allure if you are Horde. Now, this potion costs 5 medals, but since those medals are now warbound, farming them became super easy. Now, if you don't have this potion, don't worry, you will still level up fast enough, and to be honest, I forget about them almost every time that I'm going to level new character. Now let's talk about time walking dungeons, which I've recommended in a lot of my guides. Right now you can queue up for them at level 10, and they give a lot of XP on completion. When this leveling event launched, we had Legion time walking. Some of those dungeons like Neltharian's Lair and Darkheart Thicket are super fast. Others have a lot of RP and take longer, but you could still go from level 70 to 80 in 2 hours just by spamming them. But the best thing is coming on May 14th, Classic Time Walking. These dungeons can be completed so fast, I wouldn't be surprised if you could go from level 70 to 80 in an hour with a good group. So definitely keep an eye out for Classic Time Walking. Then there is also an achievement in the game, which kind of functions like the old heirlooms, I guess. This achievement basically gives your entire account an increased XP buff. Every time that you level up a character to 80, your account gets a plus 5% XP buff, up to a maximum of 25%. Personally, I think they should have just removed the cap during this event and let us go crazy. It would have made this leveling event a lot more fun. Now just a heads up, this also means that some players with more level 80 characters will be able to level up their alts a bit faster than others. You also want to check out the Darkmoon Fair. This is up every first Sunday of the month and you can get an extra 10% XP buff from it. So with War Mode and all of these XP buffs, you can get 75 to 85% increased XP, depending on if you get the Darkmoon Fair buff or not, which is awesome. But yeah, that's it for the prep. Let's get started with leveling. This part only applies if you are not leveling an allied race. Those characters start at level 10 already. When creating a new character, you can choose between your race's starting zone or Exile's Reach. I highly recommend going with Exile's Reach. It's basically an updated beginner zone that you can complete really quickly. The best part is that it can be done in under an hour, even if you are taking it slow. I usually finish it in about 30 minutes, and depending on your class, you might even be faster. So once you finish Exile's Reach, or if you've made an allied race, it's time to hit level 20. Now here's what I did at first, which by the way, you should absolutely not do if you care about leveling fast. I started leveling in the Dragon Isles because I wanted to check out how fast you can go from level 10 to 70 in the Dragon Isles during this new event. I went to the zone that gave me the Dream Surge buff. For those who don't know, every week one zone gets marked with a Dream Surge. While that's active, you will get some damage buffs and also a 25% XP boost while questing there. Sounds good, right? Just head there and start leveling with an extra 25% XP boost? Well, not exactly. When I got there, I didn't see any buffs. I turned in a quest and then the dream buffs suddenly appeared. I was like, alright, guess I'll just keep leveling here until I reach level 70. Then, whenever I reached level 20, I decided to go back to the main city and toggle on War Mode because it gives a 10% extra XP buff. Whenever I came back, all of my buffs were gone. No matter what I did, I couldn't get them back. Also, in the 10 levels that I did there, I didn't get a single XP potion. So, if you care about leveling up fast, don't bother with the Dragon Isles. I literally wasted an hour or so for nothing. Now, what I do recommend is heading over to Chromie, selecting the Legion timeline, and going over to Azuna or Val'Sharah. Just start questing there and do bonus objectives until you reach level 20. It goes really fast. Also, if you spot a Legion invasion on your map, be sure to do all of the world quests in that invasion area. They give a lot of XP and will get you to level 20 in no time. Anyway, that's pretty much how I level most of my characters from 10 to 20. Whenever I'm taking them through Azuna or Val'Sharah, it takes me about 20 to 30 minutes to reach level 20. So the first thing that I do whenever I'm leveling from around 20 to 60-ish, in my case I hit level 63, but it depends on how many XP buffs you have, is enable War Mode for that extra 10% XP boost. After enabling War Mode, we are going to use Chromie time to level up in the old classic zones. So I go to Chromie and select the Cataclysm timeline. The main reason I use the Cataclysm timeline is because these older zones have a lot of simple quests that can be done very fast, especially since we have access to dragon riding right away. Now, whenever I'm playing an Alliance character, I usually complete all quests in Duskwood, Red Ridge Mountains, and Loch Modan. It took me around 2 hours and 15 minutes to finish those zones and reach level 63. If the Darkmoon Fair was up, I might have actually hit 69 or even 70. Now, like I said before, your level might be different depending on your XP buffs, but you should still end up somewhere around level 50 plus, even without any extra buffs. So that's it for the Alliance route. For Horde characters, I'd recommend questing in Silverpine Forest, Hillsbred Foothills, and then either the Arati Highlands or the Hinterlands. So yeah, that's basically how I get to level 60 plus quickly, with all of the buffs except the BFA potion and the Darkmoon Fair buff. I hit 63 with a total playtime of 3 hours. It could have been way faster if I didn't waste any time messing around in the Dragon Isles, but it is what it is. So, after completing all the quests in the 3 zones that I mentioned before, we want to go back to Chromie and select the Draenor timeline. Regardless of your faction, you will want to do the Draenor intro quests, because they can be completed really fast and will give you a lot of levels. I reached level 70 by the end of the Draenor intro. If you are still not level 70, you should just keep questing until you've set up your garrison. Once that's done, you should fly to Gorgrond and start doing the intro quests. By this time, you should be level 70. If you don't have the 25% XP boost from leveling 5 characters to 80, Just keep completing side quests and bonus objectives in Gorgrond until you reach level 70. In total, it took me 3 hours and 20 minutes of playtime to go from level 1 to 70. And that includes the hour I wasted messing around in the Dragon House. So if you don't make the same mistake as me, you could easily hit level 70 in 2 to 2.5 hours. And if you are playing an Earthen Dwarf, well, you might actually hit level 70 in just an hour or so by just flying around, thanks to their broken-ass racial bonus. So, now it's time for the last part, which is also the part that takes the longest. It took me in total 2 hours, basically the same amount of time that it takes me to reach level 70 without messing around in the Dragon Isles. Now, what I usually do to reach level 80 in a decent amount of time is simply spam time walking dungeons. These dungeons can be completed really fast, especially if you get one where you can skip straight to the last boss. Now, in case you didn't know, when leveling through time walking dungeons, you mainly want the dungeon completion XP, which you get from the final boss. So if you have a tank who skips everything until the last boss, your leveling will go a lot faster. But since this leveling event comes with 2 weeks where time walking isn't available, I wanted to see how fast you could level from 70 to 80 by just doing content in the War Within. So the first thing that I checked out was delves. And honestly, delves are actually a great way to level up now. The first time that you enter a delve, you will get a quest that gives you a lot of XP, like somewhere around 100k or so, which will eventually start scaling with your level. They are also easy to complete because Brand's level and abilities are shared across all of your characters. Now on top of that, the leveling event satchels can drop in delves as well, so you will get decent gear too, which helps solve the problem of hitting level 70 and being undergeared for the War Within zones. So I'd say if you don't want to spam time walking dungeons, or if they are just simply not available, then just complete all of the delves at least once and turn in the quests that you get at the entrance. This should bring you to somewhere between level 76 and 78 if you have all of the buffs. After that, you can just fly around, complete some quests, do some bonus objectives, maybe queue up for some random The War Within dungeons, and depending on your class, you will reach level 80 in around 2 hours as well. Now, in my opinion, spamming classic time walking dungeons will still be the fastest way to go from 70 to 80, especially if you are tanking, since you will get instant queues and can set the pace. This is basically the way that I level up my characters to level 80. Whenever there is no time walking, I will just use delves and fly around and do stuff in the War Within. But whenever time walking is up, the only thing that I do from 70 to 80 is spam time walking. But before some of you are going to say, well, you can just crest around Draenor to level 70, that way you don't have to fly around in classic zone, you don't have to fly to another zone, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that, you don't have to do... Yeah, I will mention a couple of other ways you could level up as well, okay? Don't worry, just stay calm. So if you only want to stay in one place, you could just use Chromie time and quest in Draenor until you reach level 70. You can get an extra XP buff in the Spires of Arak zone, which increases your XP gain while questing in that zone. Also, as mentioned before, you could just spam dungeons all the way up to level 80. If that's something that you like. Personally, I still reach level 70 faster with questing, but if you like dungeons a lot, then it's something that you could do as well. Then there is boosting. You can either boost yourself to 80 or have someone else boost you in exchange for gold. Now, since I get bored really fast with Mythic Plus and raiding, I decided to test out how level 70 twinking works. Now, if you are someone that has a level 70 character on an account that does not have the War Within, you can basically boost all of your characters from level 1 to 70 in around 90 minutes by just killing mobs in the Dragon Isles. And when time walking is active, you could use that same level 70 character to boost your own characters through time walking dungeons from 70 to 80 in 1 to 2 hours depending on the time walking dungeons. This is exactly what I'm planning to do when classic time walking starts on May 14th. Because honestly, I just want to get it over with and finish leveling 100 characters to 80. I'm also seeing a lot of boomies on the Siren Isles boosting people to level 80. I'm not sure if that's faster than spamming time walking dungeons, but hey, it could be something worth checking out. So yeah, boosting is definitely also an option. If you can't boost yourself, you've probably seen plenty of people advertising level boosts for gold in chat. So that's something that you could take an advantage of as well, if you've got some gold to spend. Now, as I always say, In the end, it's all about what you enjoy the most. Leveling fast is fun and all, but if you don't enjoy rushing through quests or don't like the zones that I recommend, then just pick a different zone. Queue up for dungeons, explore the world. Do whatever the hell you like, because eventually you will still hit level 80, no matter what you do. The most important thing is that you do whatever the hell you want to do and have fun while doing so. Anyway guys, that's all I have for you today. If this video was helpful, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Also, if you have any questions or suggestions, just let me know in the comment section below. As always, thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.